Kamala Das, Kamala Surayya and Madhavikutty. They are the same person, born in 1934 in Malabar coast of Kerala, India. Kamala Das is one of the most celebrated poet of India who used to write both in English and Malayalam. She was very famous in her pen name Madhavikutty. Kamala Das wrote most of her short stories in Malayalam and most of her poems in English because she thought that poetry cannot be sold in a country like India. Hello everyone, hope you're doing very well. Today we are going to talk about one of the major Indian poet, novelist, short story writer and a feminist, Kamala Das. Here we will discuss her life and works in the simplest way possible because we believe that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So for now, let's talk about the life and works of Kamala Das and let's make English straightforward. Kamala Das got married at a very early age of 15 with Madhav Das. Her writings were something very autobiographical. Her mother was Balamani Amma, a very popular poet of her time. Kamala Das got her early inspiration from her mother, but she was someone whose mentality was to break the rules of our society. She felt occupied with social rules and conventions, so we find a tendency to break all that social rules in her poetries. Her writings were towards freedom from captivity. Kamala Das spent most of her childhood in Calcutta. As we mentioned that her mother Balamani Amma was a very popular poet. Beside that, her great uncle Nalapat Narayana Menon was also a renowned writer. So all these facts inspired Kamala Das to fall in love with literature. After her marriage with Madhav Das, Kamala Das started writing consistently. Kamala published all her 6 collections of poetries in English while she was a very active short story writer in Malayalam. Kamala Das also wrote about women's sufferings, child abuse and politics in various columns. Her first poetry book, Summer in Calcutta, was published in 1965, and this book was about love, its betrayal and the consequences. Then she published Descendants in 1967. She also published The Old Playhouse and Other Poems in 1973. Her short story collections are Cold and Memories of Childhood. But Kamala's best known work is her own autobiography. Kamala wrote this autobiography originally in Malayalam, titled Ente Katha in 1973. After some time, she translated this into English version titled My Story in 1976. Kamala Das wrote another famous poem, An Introduction. This was an autobiographical poem where she depicts her thoughts, feelings, experiences and analyzation of the world that are very close to her. In her A Hot Noon in Malabar, we find the descriptions of the climate and weather of Malabar district. It is hot, noisy and dusty. But Kamala does not dislike this place. It is her place where she grew up. In Malabar, Kamala feels freedom and wildness and adventure. Kamala Das is known for her bold and brave style of writing. In the poem A Request, Kamala Das considered that her life was worthless, isolated and dark. Her last work was The Kept Women and Other Stories, which is the translation of her Malayalam short stories. Kamala Das was actually from a Hindu family, but after her husband died in 1990s, Kamala Das converted to Islam, and then Kamala Das became Kamala Surayya. Once she told that she would marry her Muslim lover, but Kamala never remarried. Kamala Surayya got many awards for her literary works. In 1968, she got Kerala Sahitya Academy Award. In 1988, Kerala State Film Award for Best Story. Das got honorary delete by University of Calicut in 2006. In 1984, she was shortlisted for the Nobel Prize in Literature. Kamala Das died on 31st May 2009 at the age of 75 at a hospital in Pune. So that was a very brief outline of the life and works of Kamala Das. Later we will discuss about her very famous poem and introduction. So subscribe to our channel for further updates. We have talked about the major aspects about Kamala Das. Still, if you feel any doubt or confusion, just let us know in the comment box below. But for now, tell me goodbye. We will be meeting on another Slideshow English video.